Hi, everyone. I'm Therese Hauk, and I'm a nurse and a yoga instructor and a LifeVantage distributor. Tonight, we're going to be talking about how we can keep our pets happy and healthy. We have some exciting testimonials, real life stories. But before we do that, I want to just go over what we're going to be talking about, which is oxidative stress. We'll explain what that is, how it affects our pets, not just our pets, but also humans. So we're going to talk a little bit about Tandem NRF2, which is the human form to deal with oxidative stress. And then getting a little bit more specifically into what oxidative stress does to our furry friends with regards to pain, allergies, and anxiety. We're also going to talk a little bit about horses because horses have a lot of problems with oxidative stress as well. And we're going to be sharing some wonderful testimonials of some furry friends. So let's dive in. Oxidative stress is a new term for something called free radical cell damage. So free radicals are a breakdown product of oxygen. And like I was saying earlier, any mammal, any being that consumes oxygen is going to have oxidative stress or free radical cell damage. This picture illustrates what happens to an apple with regards to oxidative stress. You cut an apple in half, it starts to turn brown, it gets old. It's just that exposure to oxygen that causes this. Similarly, in our bodies, when we have oxygen exposure, breakdown products of oxygen, it attacks our cells. You know, those free radicals are the bad guys. They damage our cells. And the result is aging and disease. And so wouldn't it be amazing if we could reduce cell damage or oxidative stress in our bodies? Well, normally our bodies do take care of this cell damage. When we're younger, we have a pathway in our body. It's called the NRF2 pathway. And when we're younger, this pathway, it helps to create antioxidant enzymes in every single cell in your body. So the antioxidant enzymes are the good guys, and they basically gobble up or repair that free radical damage. And then your body can function normally. As we get older, this pathway doesn't work as well. We don't make as many antioxidant enzymes, and that's why we get old and there's more diseases that happen in our bodies. So this NRF2 pathway, what we have found is that if we can activate this pathway, it's like flipping a switch in our body, we can actually rejuvenate the body to make antioxidant enzymes so that we can actually reduce oxidative stress in our bodies. And it's been proven, we've been able to actually show a number. We can reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. So a lot of you might be thinking, well, why can't I just, eat kale and blueberries and eat a lot of vitamin C and reduce my oxidative stress that way? Well, unfortunately, when you eat, an antioxidant, it's like a one and done thing. You eat the antioxidant, it takes care of one free radical, one boom, done, okay? Versus activating this NRF2 pathway, you're activating every cell in your body to make these antioxidant enzymes. So it's like a billion, however many cells we have in our body to one. And that's why we can say we reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. So it's just comprised of 5 natural herbs turmeric, milk thistle, green tea extract, bacopa, and ashwagandha. And the important thing to know, each of these herbs are powerful antioxidants in and of themselves, but the 5 combined together is what causes this NRF2 pathway to be activated. It's a synergistic effect. So humans have oxidative stress. Like I said, any mammal has oxidative stress. Our pets experience oxidative stress. So I'm going to let Dr. Rebecca Glasser take over from here. She is a plastic surgeon and has been in practice for over 20 years and is now just doing LifeVantage and is very, very successful. She's realized how important time freedom is for her. And so has just started this and is just taken off. And so take it away, Dr. Glasser.
All right. Thank you for the introduction. So when we were preparing for tonight, I was like, what a fun thing for us to talk about, because I think that all of us believe in that pets are truly our caregivers. They're our guardian angels. And the biggest thing that I noticed with our pets is, gosh, if we could only help dogs live longer, that would be great. But we want to make sure too that the dogs we have are living the best quality of life ever. And as Therese mentioned, unfortunately, dogs have as high or really higher an oxidative stress load than humans do. Their nose is always to the ground. They're always smelling the world, right? And so in addition to that, they are bombarded by chemical problems, noise, pollution, diet problems. And so we really want to explore what can we do to improve our dog's quality of life, and what can we do to keep them around as long as we possibly can. So next slide, please. So when you start looking at dogs and you think about oxidative stress, it's very similar to humans. Oxidative stress can absolutely affect every organ system, from their brain to their heart, to their skin, to their immune system, their eyes, their allergies. Everything is affected by oxidative stress. And so in the beginning, what was happening when Tandem NRF2 was launched, it was our one and only product. And what we found was that a lot of pet owners started giving their dogs Tandem NRF2. So what we realized was, well, we need to figure out something that is specifically formulated for dogs, so that we have everything a dog needs, but also to put it in a form that dogs are willing to take, and it feels more like a treat. So next slide, please. So this is what we came up with. This is called Pet Tandem, and it's essentially Pro Tandem for dogs. And so being a science geek that I am, one of the things that I loved about LifeVantage is they actually did a white paper, and they published a scientific study looking specifically at Pet Tandem and looking specifically at how would this affect dogs. And so this study was an independent study. It wasn't done by LifeVantage. It was a 60-day study. They used multiple centers. They used veterinarians as well as the pet owners, and they had 80 dogs, all different breeds, that were part of the study. And so in half of those dogs, they gave those dogs placebo, and in the other half, they gave them, of course, Pet Tandem. And what I love about the study was, even before the study was over, it was very clear to both the veterinarians as well as the owners. They knew which of those dogs were on Pet Tandem. It was that obvious. And some of the things that they were seeing in the study was, they found that, okay, these dogs have more energy, they're more playful, they're more alert, their cognitive function is better. And then in addition to that, they also went to the laboratory, and just as Therese was talking about antioxidant enzymes, they actually measured that in dogs. And this is so interesting. And so in those dogs that were on Pet Tandem, they found that their catalase levels, which is one of those antioxidant enzyme levels, actually went up by 36% in those dogs that were taking Pet Tandem. But even more interestingly, in the dogs that weren't taking it, it went down by 11%. So this truly is kind of mirroring what we're seeing in the human lab as well. What we're finding is when humans are taking Pro Tandem, their antioxidant levels are also going up, and it mirrors what's happening in dogs as well. They also found in this study that Pet Tandem was very well tolerated, that it was safe. A few things that you need to know about it is Therese talked about, what were those 5 ingredients that were in Pro Tandem? Well, it was turmeric and milk thistle and green tea and ashwagandha and bacopa. And all of those same 5 ingredients are in our Pet Tandem formulation. But in addition to that, they wanted to address some of the other areas. And so we added in omega-3 fatty acids, as well as glucosamine chondroitin, in order to make sure that the dogs had everything they needed in this one little chewable. Now, in addition to that, we've added in chicken and liver and bacon flavoring. So if you want to try it out yourself, you're welcome to. I don't know that you will like it, but I think that your dogs will love the flavor. I know that my dog thinks of it as a treat. He sits, he cannot wait for his Pet Tandem every day. That's, again, what we want this to be a positive thing. But what I love the most about dogs is that dogs don't understand placebo effect. They have no idea that that bacon flavored nugget is actually going to help them. And so when you start seeing these changes in your pet at 30 days, at 60 days, at 90 days, there's no placebo effect. It is what it is. They're seeing these changes just because the product is actually working. So I love that about it. One other thing I'll bring up in this is that in the Pet Tandem formulation, the dosing is a little bit different according to dog size. So for the really little guys, we use a half a tablet a day. For your medium-sized dogs, we're using 1 tablet a day. And for the big dogs, like mine, I have an 85-pound lab. It's 2 tablets a day. So this is just such a great formulation. Next slide, please. So I think now we're going to kind of switch over. You've heard a little bit about the science, but we're going to talk a little bit about the stories. What are some of the stories that some people are going to share tonight about how giving Pet Tandem has changed their dog's experience? So who's going to start?
Thank you so much, Rebecca. We're going to start with Julie talking about Brody.
Trace. Well, Brody isn't my love here. It is Patty's, which she's on with us tonight. And doesn't he look so handsome? And he's 7 years old, and he has had a lot of skin issues and medical issues the past 4 months. And so on this next slide here, you can see the before and the after, and where he had on his the pinkness there at the bottom on the 127, and then on the right hand side it's clearing up. He started taking the Pet Tandem in August of last year. He had also been diagnosed with lupus. He was in kidney failure, and from what I understand, his blood work has been very, very good. Patty first said she needed to talk to her vet, which is awesome. Her name's Quinley, and she wanted to make sure Brody was going to be well taken care of. So it was approved by the vet, Quinley. And so now Brody is on Pet Tandem, and you can see the brother sitting there also. And he's also on Pet Tandem. So, from August until now, It's been a few months, but you can see he's healing and he's doing so much better. And I know one of the other dogs there is able to jump up on the furniture again and without any pain and ease. So it's just been a real blessing for Brody, and I'm so glad that I'm a part of being able to help him. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and I love this, and you know, this is showing so many different things that's going on, right? So lupus is common in humans, and I did not realize we had as many dogs with lupus as well. But it's an autoimmune disease, right? It's inflammatory. It has levels of high oxidative stress. So you can see why it would make sense for Brody to do well on this product. And that is such a beautiful story. Patty, thank you so much. And Julie, thank you for sharing it.
Yes, thank you both. Now, this is Blizzy, and Blizzy is one of Rhonda's furry friends. Rhonda, are you still on there? You are, Rhonda. If you want to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Therese. Yes, so Blizzard came to us very happy and very healthy at the age of 6. And so time went on and life went on, and we were introduced to the Life Vantage products, and we started on our Pro Tandem, and we had good results. And bingo, I see that it's available for pets, and I'm like, bingo, this can't get any better. This covers our whole family. And so what I liked about the Pet Tandem, it was formulated to combat the oxidative stress, just like the Pro Tandem was for us, but it had the addition of the omega fatty acids and the collagen. So this was like no other supplement that we had seen on the market. So at the age of 12, Blizzard was diagnosed with a mass on her liver. And we were told that the mass was significant and it wasn't operable. And so we were sent home with, you just have to watch her. It's probably going to metastasize fairly quickly. She will not be with you very long. So we started her right away on the Pet Tandem. Well, actually, she was on Pet Tandem. We upped her amount by about half. And the months went on, and we were not seeing any change in her disposition. She was the happiest, most social, jumping around, running dog. She was doing great. So 6-month checkup, we take her back to the vet, and the vet was very surprised when she looked at her and said, I really didn't expect her to look this good or to maybe even be coming back at this point. So all of that to say is Blizzard lived to be a full 13 and a half years old, a year and a half after she was diagnosed with the mass. So we're very thankful for that time. Now, this is also our dog. This is Missy. Missy came to us seemingly just fine. We started to take her for walks and just integrate her into our pack, and she was doing fine. But we noticed one thing that was rather odd, and we were having to stop about every few minutes, and she had to scratch. It was like walk a few feet, stop and scratch, different parts, just all over. And so thought, well, she must be in her food, must be an allergy or something. Another thing that she was doing, which was very odd, was she was stealing the toilet paper out of the bathroom and hauling it outside and she would proceed to chew on it and eat some of it. And so that was strange behavior. She too was started on the pet tandem right away when we brought her in. And within 3 weeks, there was no more stopping to scratch, and there was no more toilet paper thievery. So she had some allergies, we think, and some odd behavior with the toilet paper that we may never understand, but she all of that's behind us now. So
That is so awesome.
all
There's
of
her
that,
name.
yeah, her name is Missy. And all of that to say is just do your best to make sure that your pet is happy in its skin.
Yeah. So I'm going to let Rebecca talk a little bit. Well, she has a story, a dog story too. I didn't get a picture of her dog, but also to just talk a little bit about horses and oxidative stress.
Sure. So my dog story is I had a dog named Gator. It was back when I lived in Florida, and Gator was your typical mutt. I know that he was Schnauzer, Border Collie, and Terrier, but I'd probably guess he'd have another 10 breeds in him. Gator had a great life because we lived very close to the beach, and we went to the beach every day. And when he was about 3, we would go out and he would play for a couple of hours with all of his buddies in the ocean. And I noticed he started getting lame, and he was limping a little bit. He wasn't doing well. So I put him on pet tandem. All the lameness went away, and Gator lived to 15 years old. He was able to live not just at the beach, but also in the mountains here in Colorado. And up until he was 15, we were still hiking up to 5 miles a day. For a 15-year-old, 50-pound dog is amazing. So I'm a huge believer in pet tandem. One thing I do want to bring up is I think a lot of times, I feel for veterinarians because, I mean, can you imagine trying to diagnose an animal when they can't talk to you? And I think a lot of times as we're watching our own pets, by the time we're really watching them having a hard time getting up and down or not moving as well or not being playful, more than likely that oxidative stress has been going on for quite a long time. And so what I want you to remember about this is we're talking about individual problems this evening, but I also want you to think about prevention. So my current dog, Oswald, who is the 85-pound lab, I started him on pet tandem at 6 months old because he's a big boy. And again, I want him to live as long as possible and the best quality of life. So you really want to start your pets on this early and have it throughout their life. You don't want them to get into problems and then start them on some of these products. Now, oxidative stress in horses is, again, horses are mammals. They have so many different problems. And so it makes sense that we would also use Pro Tandem actually in horses. Because horses are so large, what we've done is we've done it so that we use Pro Tandem instead of Pet Tandem. It would be way too many pills. And we do 2 Pro Tandem a day, if possible, spaced apart about 12 hours. Horses get incredibly stressed, right? They can be stressed in the wintertime. They can be stressed if they're training or they're competing. There's so many different stressors that go on. So you can imagine what kind of impact that we can have with horses as well. I am going to wrap this up. We are right on time, right at a half an hour. I wanted to thank everyone so much for joining us tonight. We have a number of wonderful people on this call tonight. And what I would ask of you is if you're watching this, make sure that you contact the person who told you about these products and get more information, because we are just starting to touch the tip of the iceberg with this. But, you know, whether you're a human interested in this or whether you have furry friends who would be interested in these products, I think it's so important to take a look at this from a preventative side, but also just from a quality of lifestyle. So thank you all so much for joining us this evening. And we hope to have more information for you soon on another topic. So thanks, everybody. Good night.